Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, a search for hidden connections through numerical patterns, all laid out in a really unique document. Let's see what kind of secrets it's holding. So it really all boils down to this one big question. How in the world can something as specific as a chapter in a religious text be linked to what looks like a totally random string of digits? It's a bit of a mystery, and we're going to unpack it piece by piece. And it all kicks off with this number right here, 5729. I know, right now it probably doesn't look like much, but according to the source material we're looking at, this number is anything but random. It's actually the destination. And to figure out how we get here, we first have to learn a very specific, kind of quirky set of rules. Okay, so before we can connect any dots, we really need to understand the logic of the person who made the dots in the first place. This first part is all about the unique rules of the game that are laid out in the source.
So to get this system, you got to start with its basic logic. The source kicks things off with a simple idea. The middle number between 1 and 9 is 5. Okay, easy enough. Then it takes the number 19 and does something creative. It splits it into 5 plus 14. And then it goes one step further, breaking that 14 into 7 plus 7. So out of the number 19, we get these three key pieces, 5, 7, and 7. You're going to want to remember those.
Now, here's probably the most important idea we need to get our heads around. The source uses this term mathany to describe a special kind of move. This is not your high school algebra. Think of it more like a creative connection. A lot of the time, it just means you literally place two numbers right next to each other.
Let's see exactly what this looks like. In normal math, 5 plus 7 equals 12. We all know that. But using this mathany logic, 5 and 7 become 57. See what's happening? You're not adding them up. You're just sticking them side by side to make a whole new number. This one little rule is basically the key that unlocks everything else we're about to see.
All right, we've got the rules down. So let's circle back to our original mystery. In this next section, we're going to use this unique mathany logic to actually build our target number and see exactly where it leads us. So how does the source actually build this thing? Well, first, it grabs that 5 and 7 we got from breaking down 19. Next, it hits them with the Mahoney rule, sticking them together to get 57. Then, it does something else. It finds the middle point between 1 and 57, which turns out to be 29. And for the final step, it just combines those two results, the 57 and the 29, to get our target number, 5729.
Okay, but why this number? What's so special about 5729? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The source material draws a direct line from 5729 to Islamic scripture. We're told that Surah 57 of the Quran has exactly 29 verses. 57, 29. The source also points to another reference, a revelation that apparently contains patterns of 5, 7, and 29. It's presented as this direct numerical mirror of the text itself.
But believe it or not, it doesn't even stop there. Once that connection is made, the source material uses the very same pieces to build an even longer, more complex chain of numbers. The rabbit hole goes deeper. This next sequence kicks off with another one of those original numbers we found, 7. And just like we saw before, it's immediately broken down into smaller parts. In this case, 5 and 2. And yeah, you can probably guess what's coming next, right? We apply that same mathany logic, and the 5 and the 2 are placed right next to each other to create the number 52. Pretty straightforward. And here's where things take another one of those creative leaps. The source makes an observation. 52 is the same as 26 plus 26. It then uses that little fact to perform another mathany operation, transforming 52 into 526. Yeah, the logic is definitely one of a kind here. And the chain just keeps on going. The system now adds 5 and 26 to get 31, and then the source makes sure to point out that 31 is exactly half of 62. It's like every step generates a new little clue that feeds the next one. So after all that, all these little pieces finally get put together. The 526 and the 31 are combined to give us this brand new 5-digit number, 52631, and this number becomes the cornerstone for the grand finale. This is it. This is what it's all been building towards. This is the climax of the source's calculations, where it lays out its most ambitious claim, a perfect final pattern. And this is a wild one. The source presents this gigantic 18-digit number, It says this number is derived from our previous results after a few more steps, and it claims that if you multiply this beast by 19, you get an almost perfect repeating string of nines. Now, the source doesn't detail exactly how it built that huge number, but it presents this equation as the ultimate result of its whole system. I mean, that multiplication is kind of mind-bending, right? But what's really interesting is that the source material actually offers a second, way simpler path to a similar result. And this time, it just uses addition. The source lays this final pattern out as a simple sum. It starts with 52631, that number from the last section. Then it adds that to two other numbers, 578947 and 368421, which it says are also generated using its unique rules. And when you add those three specific numbers together, what do you get? This, 999,999. It's just clean, a really satisfying and memorable pattern that just emerges from what felt like a pretty chaotic process. Okay, so we've gone through all the steps, the what, and the how. But that leaves us with the biggest question of all, doesn't it? Why? What does any of this actually mean? You know, what we've really just witnessed is this incredible creative journey into finding patterns. It's using a unique set of rules to build a bridge between simple arithmetic and really big, complex ideas. If anything, it's a powerful testament to our very human desire to find order and meaning in the world all around us. And that's really what I want to leave you with. What are we actually looking at here? Is it a series of absolutely stunning coincidences? Some kind of hidden code just waiting to be cracked? Or is it simply a beautiful example of the human mind's relentless and often brilliant search for order in the universe? That part, ultimately, is for you to decide. Thanks for joining me on this one.